This week's Incredulous installment marks episode number 100, featuring commentary from comrades Scott, Joe, Drew, and myself. We discuss OPEC Plus scaling back amid interest rate hikes, the CIA's new home away from home, brinksmanship with Russia stymieing brinksmanship with China, the mind-bendingly fraudulent antics of America's Medicare behemoths, an impassioned dive into the Activision Blizzard's top-tier smorgasbord of shame, and Cuba's new family code, a landmark victory for queer and trans comrades the world over. The slams this week are a bit buggy. You'll get it later. Please do us a big and share this going down. Do us a favor and enjoy our back.
We're getting reaction to an historic referendum in Cuba in which voters legalized same-sex marriage.
The new family code also increases protections for LGBTQ plus communities, as well as women and children. Local 10's Hatzel Vela reports.
Cubans approved a new family code that would allow same-sex couples to marry and adopt, as well as redefining rights for children and grandparents.
Hello, folks.
Okay, folks.
100!
Oh, we weren't going to mention it.
What do you mean you weren't going to mention
Hello,
it?
folks.
It's in the
title. I know it's in the title, which is why it's funny if we didn't mention it.
All right, fine.
100 penises.
Yeah, no, we did it.
I mean,
Did you see that? Do you remember that
funny.
Oprah clip where it was like somebody like it was a shit post where it's like we have 9,000 penises, over 9,000 penises, f***ing little girls.
What? Oprah commented on.
It's a famous Oprah clip because it was like a child abuse episode, and they were talking about like pedophilic speech online and stuff. And it was obviously like a shit post that someone made in hopes that like someone would catch it and use it in a program like that.
So they
it was
were
obviously meant
trying
satirically. So
Oprah bait, I guess.
Yeah, they Oprah baited. It's a famous incident, and I feel terrible that now that's how I started our 100th episode is with over 9,000 penises f***ing little girls. That was a phrase I said.
That's a recorded, dude. You could be like, this could be in court right now.
You should just put
this
them
recording.
Like,
This
just
could
put
be.
just do over 9 and just like have the
nice
bleep.
things, Scott.
This
Joe?
is playing in front of a jury.
Bleep Joe right now. Everything Joe's saying.
2026. This is playing in front of a horrified jury. They're all like gasping at you and looking at you. And you're just like covered. You're looking away. You're trying to like look down.
There's so many other things that could be used against me.
Your lawyer's putting his arm
dude.
around your shoulder. He's like, I got you. It's okay. I got you.
No.
But you know he doesn't.
Yeah, no, I know. When the conservatives eventually take over the country and we have the courts, they have the courts. We're all going.
Oh, we're going to the camp.
To the gulag. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, to the gulag of telling us whatever the fuck you wanted to talk about.
And
about stuff.
They don't even let us play Xbox at the camps. It sucks, dude.
Yeah. To the gulag of the news.
We can't play Halo.
We can eat Sheriff Joe Arpaio's mystery meat.
100.
We can't even play Halo 3 Capture the Flag in between.
Joe, literally come on.
I know. I was just waiting for Drew to finish his riff.
Oh,
I was trying to be respectful of other people's time.
It's called bits. But yeah, okay.
I'm recording.
Well, so...
I want you to know.
Love you.
I love you too.
Okay, then.
Come on.
I don't think she knew I was recording tonight.
All right.
So,
Three
getting
goddamn
back
minutes.
on track, 3 minutes in. There is a reason that gas prices are going up. It is
What the fuck did you say the first time?
Did you say oil Brexit?
no oil prices. Oil prices because the Fed is fucking around and finding out. Granted,
I'm getting banned. I'm every time you say that now, I'm just gonna like find a way to like cause you pain, please. Anyways.
Remotely, like
There are decades where we fuck around.
And there are days where we find out, yeah.
well, I'm not entirely sure that's an accurate to this situation because the Fed doesn't really care that people are going to suffer. So
Yeah, what's it finding out?
Yeah, what is it good for? Virtually punching you, all of you.
So oil prices are going up because the Fed's progressive campaign of trying to crush the working class through interest rate hikes is cutting into the incomes of oil-producing countries, which are a part of OPEC, because higher borrowing rates mean less money is being spent on oil or securing oil. So in a bid to be able to break even and stem their losses, OPEC is reducing the supply of oil production by 2 million barrels of oil per day. This was about 2 weeks ago. And the American response is...
So when you say buy 2 million a day, that means they'll be taking 2 million off each day?
No, that means they'll be reducing the amount of output.
By 2 million per day.
2 million each day? So like first day it's 2 million, second day it's 4 million, third day it's 6, like that? Or just 2 million overall?
Yeah, the first part.
Oh, motherfucker, you did it again! Which one? The first one?
The first one.
Okay, so it keeps compacting, it keeps, multiplying, okay.
Silly goose.
Yes, but they're reducing the amount of supply. So they're producing 2 million barrels of oil less per day.
Yes, I know!
Can you give us... Oh, God, I could have Googled this in the time it took me to ask.
We're loose tonight.
We could just Google and cut out Joe.
So, wait.
Joe's the one who laughs the hardest at the jokes where we threaten to eliminate him. So, like, at least he's a good sport.
Google can't laugh.
It's true. It's true.
So just for reference, OPEC produces approximately 30,000 barrels of oil. No, sorry, 30 million.
Yes, 30 million, not 30,000.
Barrels of oil per day. Or at least they did last year. It's probably increased.
That's a pretty solid chunk.
Just thinking of them producing 30,000 and just be like, here you go. Just trying to giving that to the world. Be like, distribute it amongst yourselves.
Yeah, if you took 2 million off a day, the OPEC would be buying a bunch of oil every day.
From them.
Yeah.
Wow, we made this really confusing. Joe has asked that I clarify OPEC Plus is aiming to reduce daily production by a constant 2 million barrels. I have absolutely no way to explain this without using numbers, so for the sake of demonstration, let's assume that a normal rate of production stands at 30 million barrels per day, or 210 million barrels per week. At the reduced rate of production, the target rate would be 28 million barrels per day, or 196 million barrels per week. The actual targets are a little bit lower than that, but the point is that production will continue at a constant, albeit slightly lower, rate.
They're cutting the supply because they need the income, because the Fed's interest rate hikes have been cutting into that income. And
oh my God.
Because OPEC Plus, which is the group of oil-producing countries, is led by Saudi Arabia. As a result of this decision, the United States government is formally reevaluating its relationship with Saudi Arabia. So, Saudi Arabia being behind 9/11, that's fine. Butchering Jamal Khashoggi because he wrote some things that they didn't like, that's fine. You make oil more expensive for us? Oh, that's you're in trouble now.
Yeah, dog. First two.
We're gonna come crawling back to them no matter what. We're a bunch of pussies.
Oh no, Drew.
The last
funny
one?
thing is, I will get to.
That was more of a relieved than like a boo.
The relieved one is.
You need like
they sound the same. Do a boo.
You need like a Bill Cosby says
boo.
their N-word kind of
That one is good. That's just jeering.
I love that.
Thank you.
So,
thank you,
right.
Joe. Fuck OPEC. Fuck oil. Fuck fossil fuels.
No.
Fuck the world.
I wouldn't say fuck OPEC in general.
OPEC's good.
No,
our dependency on everything sucks. Our dependency on fossil fuels are bad.
It's not as a good or bad. It's just responding to pressures.
It's just your classical. See,
liberalism.
We talk about this on Discord, but it's like instead of characterizing everything as necessarily negative or positive,
we characterize it as negative.
Well, the way. Yeah, that's true. But the way that like most nations operate, you can't just say it's like objectively evil, because most countries are poor and they just have to do whatever the fuck they do to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, morality doesn't really factor into the equation.
Yeah. All the countries that are now purchasing oil from Russia, they're not doing so out of like an ideological commitment to
Yeah.
They're doing it because
Gotta
it's
do what
more
they gotta do.
affordable.
Yeah.
they're doing it because it's cheaper.
Yeah. So we're gonna fuck over Venezuela again?
No,
No.
actually, we're now like begging hat in hand Venezuela to give us some oil
LOL.
because Saudi Arabia will no longer take our phone calls, kind of thing.
Look who's come crawling back.
Yeah, exactly. We're crawling to Venezuela, being like, "Please, sir, can we have some more oil? I know we've been like trying to like overthrow your elected government for the past 25 years, but like things are really tight right now, and we could use the help."
We just come to make sure your baby's okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Accurate.
Sorry. God damn.
That
I
audio-
actually didn't know what that sound drop was. So,
That audio is from a U.S. military offensive in 1972, colorized.
Yeah. Oh God, sorry. Sleepwalking through this tonight. No, I'm not. What?
So now that we need oil, we're all of a sudden like okay with Nicolas Maduro being, you know, the elected leader of the country,
Yeah.
because now
Bring
we
back
need some oil.
Chevron.
Isn't he a dirty
Damn it.
socialist terrorist, though?
Yeah, Jesse's sadly kind of right.
He's a dirty socialist terrorist?
No, the Chevron part.
Oh, yeah, they suck.
No, dude.
No, Chevron's being allowed to produce oil.
I'm
in
kidding.
Venezuela.
You just
Kidding.
say everything sucks.
Everything does suck.
I mean, that's
Cut all that
true. That's true. But if you literally don't know anything about it, then you're just getting lucky.
It's true. I am just pulling the trigger or whatever. We're in a loose mood tonight. No, cut all that out. I'm kidding.
You're like flan.
Burkina
Fuck
Faso.
flan.
There's egg on my face.
I know that you don't know what flan is. That's why
I don't. That's why I'm not saying anything. Cut all this out. I'm serious.
No.
Yes.
No, I'm keeping.
Cut it out. Please.
I vote we keep
What?
it.
You don't want people to know. You don't know what flan is.
No, just
Wait, I don't know what flan is. What's flan?
Yeah.
Is this a ligma like? Is this like
I'm
a
crying.
full on dicks in your mouth? Like, is this like gonna be one of those?
no.
I'm actually
All right, fuck you guys.
sorry.
Full on what? Full on what?
Okay, seriously.
Sorry. Okay.
My lungs hurt. And I'm not even smoking.
It sounds like you were.
No, that's just the sound of someone who's had pneumonia and bronchitis too many times.
The Sound of Pneumonia, that really cool song.
At the same time?
Hello, pneumonia, my old friend.
At the same time?
No.
Okay, because then you're fucked.
No, that just means you're my dad.
Yeah,
He does both at the same time.
that's what that means.
That joke's going out to your dad.
Yeah, that means you are Joe's dad.
Chevron's good. Flan is whatever that is.
No, fucking any capitalism not good. Well, I guess
Yeah.
Chevron is kind of like a joint venture. I don't have any opinions on Chevron. Chevron is just it's the name of the oil company that Venezuela
Joe Kennedy
operates
doing?
through.
Or whichever Kennedy who does that. Is he the Sitka one? Which one is he? The Kennedy guy with the oil.
Joe
He's like-
Kennedy.
I don't think it's
oil.
Kennedy. No.
Yeah,
it is Joe Kennedy the second. Yeah, well,
Joe for oil.
Joe for oil. Yeah.
Um,
Why is that funny?
Because for
Think
half
I'm
a second,
funny?
I thought you were talking about me for oil. I just have a bunch of oil fields. It's okay.
Joe's for oil. Joe has a bunch of oil fields since when?
Fuck
Joe,
your
so
oil
this is
fields.
Yeah,
why.
No.
this is news to me.
This is why we're having an energy crisis right now, Joe, is because you have all these oil fields that you don't even know and you want to let the rest of the world access now.
You want to roll around in all this oil all by yourself. You don't want anyone have any.
Yeah.
No, it's because Pete Buttigieg hired a bunch of McKinsey consultants to run them, and now nobody knows what's going on.
I was smiling and my frown went so hard when
oh
you said
fuck!
Pete
I'm an
Buttigieg.
idiot. I keep saying Chevron, but it is Sitco.
Well, suck a dick. Chevron does suck then. Keep all that in the podcast. Fuck you.
I was going to keep it all in.
I was right at the end of
Now
the day.
I'm gonna extra keep it in.
Double it. Yeah, have it playing in fucking like reverb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, have we talked enough about interest rates and OPEC and how oil's going to cost more, your heating's going to go up, your gas when you're driving your car, it's going to go bad. It's going to be bad.
Well,
the fun part is that the U.S. State Department is claiming that this is an ideological move to help Russia, and that's unacceptable.
What the fuck what are they talking about?
Saudi Arabia's response was like, no, dude, like, your central bank has been, like, raising interest rates, and it's making it harder for us to sell oil. So we have to raise prices so that we can still sell the oil. We need to pay the bills, dipshit.
Dude, we have the most cringe State Department.
We really do.
Yeah, what? What?
You're cringe, State Department. You're fucking cringe.
What? That's all, like, I just can't, it hurts my head, man. What? Ideological? What?
Yeah, I know. Our government's, like, viewpoint towards anything related to foreign affairs is increasingly just childish and obnoxious.
Fucking stupid. That's what it is.
Yeah, stupid, childish, spiteful, Eddie.
Speaking of which...
The CIA.
Good segue. Speaking of our petulant, childish, and
Cock
reckless
and
foreign
Asshole
policy.
Association. Yeah.
Correct.
That's not...
Yes, it is, Drew.
Yeah.
No, it is. All right, let me see.
So the CIA, I don't even know how you could describe this as covert operations if it's in the New York Times. Again. This is just like a time where the U.S. is like trying to like convince China to like step in to like get Russia under control, but they were like telling it to the New York Times. We're going to talk about it with them in private, reports the Times.
Nobody has the balls to like schedule an actual meeting or do any like real diplomacy, so they do an op-ed.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
So like apparently we're stepping up covert operations in Ukraine again. Now that
are we?
Now that the State Department and the CIA thinks that Ukraine might actually win, which they're not. It doesn't matter how many Stinger missiles we drop into that country. It's
into Russia?
Yeah.
No.
Give the Stinger missiles to Ukraine to shoot at Russia. Right?
Yeah. There's not enough missiles to shoot into Russia to win a war. Like, that's... Anyways, yeah.
But we're also... Congress just appropriated another, like, $700 billion.
It's probably wrong.
No, $700 million for weapons to Ukraine.
So your streets in your hometown, they're gonna get worse, kids.
On the same token, we're spending $100 million on installing missiles in Taiwan that are going to be aimed at China.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's part of a $6 billion program, so it'll add up over time, yeah.
But the delivery of those missiles is being held up because most of the weapons manufacturers and defense contractors in this country, who are, the merchants of death who profit off of all this senseless death and violence, are prioritizing our reckless foreign policy in Ukraine and are a bit too preoccupied to send missiles to Taiwan.
Gotta love them? I don't know.
So our reckless foreign policy in Eastern Europe is interfering with our reckless foreign policy in Asia.
God damn, I don't even know which is worse.
Exactly.
I mean, Zelensky kind of already asked everybody, like, kind of asked the international community to drop the nuclear bomb already.
He's done that several times already.
I feel like China would take is going to view that as, like, aggression. Like, so,
yes.
I don't know.
Which I will be talking about in the next
Joe's
podcast.
He's like, yes. He's very clinical about it.
Well, it is. It's backing a separatist movement that is in territory that China has held claim to for a long time.
Yes, and interfering in the affairs of another country is aggression. But something I'm going to cover in the next episode is that Xi Jinping mentioned this in his speech to the 20th Congress of the Chinese Communist Party. Actually talked about the posturing of the United States and the challenges they face. I'll get into that in the next episode. But we're just basically have a death wish. Because Lockheed Martin didn't have good enough quarterly earnings, I guess.
Starting a war with China would be the dumbest possible thing that any country could do.
Yeah.
I don't know how clearly I can state that.
It's one of those times where I feel very weird because Henry Kissinger is actually right about something. Where he's like, we need to leave China alone.
Yeah.
Very weird to have to say the sentence, Henry Kissinger is right about something.
Also, fun fact, China's average life expectancy
Has surpassed
a million years.
has now surpassed that of the United States.
Hell yeah, we suck over here. We're doing bad.
And they have way more people. They're like 1.5 billion people in China. So
a fat chunk of
5 times our population.
A lot of people, motherfucker.
Actually, slightly more than 5 times.
Current population of China.
Big. Google just says big.
Yeah. A lot.
Many.
Yeah, a lot.
More.
No,
It just says a lot. Google it, and you're like, wait.
Okay, thank you.
That was right. It's 1.5 million.
1.5
How many
million
people
or
does
billion?
China have? Google.
1.5 billion.
A lot.
Billion, yeah. Damn, man.
Why do we keep fucking up our orders of magnitude this evening?
Because we're idiots. We're doing great. Jet.
It's a vibe shift.
Oh, you motherfucker. Oh my god. He said vibe shift. We should him. Anyways, I'm kidding. Bleep that out at least. Jesus.
Well, it's a just served to the revolution, so okay.
It's not for the revolution, buddy. It's from... Anyways, it's for retribution.
I was trying to go with the bit.
Talk about Medicare.
Medicare is actually being quite rapidly privatized, and on top of that, there's a lot of fraud that be happening. So it is estimated, according to federal government audits, that anywhere between $12 and $25 billion worth of fraud is being perpetrated against Medicare by the health insurers that run the Medicaid Advantage programs. So there are 10 Medicare Advantage providers, and they control about 3/4 of the program.
I had United Health. I know that's like a really big one.
Yes. United is actually the biggest insurer. They control 27% of the Medicaid Advantage market, and they have been accused of fraud by whistleblowers, the U.S. government, and according to documents and financial reports from the Inspector General, they have overbilled Medicare to the point that crosses the legal threshold of fraud.
That's a lot of people to say, like...
Listeners, if you're not from the United States, do you know how hard that is?
Yeah. It's a lot of different people to say you're doing fraud. Yeah. It's wild.
Broaden it up.
Humana has been accused of fraud by whistleblowers and has been overbilling to the point of crossing the legal threshold of fraud by inspector generals. CVS Health, which owns Aetna, accused of overbilling. Elevance, which used to be Anthem, has been accused of fraud by the federal government and has been overbilling. Kaiser Permanente has been accused of fraud by the U.S. government and whistleblowers. Cigna has been accused of doing all three.
What do you mean when you say all three?
Being accused of fraud by whistleblowers, the federal government, and overbilling to the point of crossing the legal threshold into fraud. And Cigna doesn't even have 2% of the market.
Is this literally just on their Medicare packages? Because, like, what I'm trying to say is if it's happening with their Medicare packages, then it's obviously happening with everything else. So
these companies are having doctors add additional illnesses to the medical records of patients.
LOL, holy shit, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked about this a little.
That's fucking insane.
So they can bill Medicare more.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude.
And sometimes adding these additional illnesses leads to people being diagnosed with illnesses they don't have.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also,
it's horrifying, dude. Prescription medicine is so, like, delicate. Sorry, Jesse.
In addition to this being obviously fraudulent and malpractice in every sense, this is happening without the knowledge or consent of beneficiaries.
Which is something I was going to add.
Yeah, and it is also increasing their premiums every year because they are more risky of a client to take on.
Because they're older, yeah.
No, because they have more fucking diseases.
Because in the health insurance market, risk is not determined by, like, how old or young you are. It's determined by how sick you are.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's awful. It's just this country sucks.
A sicker patient is deemed a greater risk to take on.
And this is
because it's not profitable to cover the insurance bills of someone who is sick.
Oh,
that means you have to make payments.
Right. And I talked about this a little bit in the direct contracting thing, but this determines what categories people get placed into so that the private insurance market can come in and basically, like, bid on people.
Paul Ryan's big thing was trying to privatize Medicare by adding what he called high-risk pools, in which all the really sick people like me would be lumped into...
Death panels.
They would be like quarantined off into like a whole separate insurance market where things would be a lot more expensive, so that the able-bodied people would be able to pay lower rates because they're not having to share the costs with the sick people.
Yeah, so there's this thing called universal healthcare. It would take care of that.
Yeah, if only. If only. So I'm going to quote here from the article. Quote, Medicare Advantage, a private sector alternative to Medicare, was designed by Congress 20 years ago to encourage health insurers to find innovative ways to provide better care at lower costs. If trends hold, by next year, more than half of Medicare recipients will be in a private plan. As of this year, according to Kaiser Permanente, 48% of the Medicare eligible population was in Medicare Advantage. But a New York Times review of dozens of fraud lawsuits, inspector general audits, and investigations by watchdogs show how major health insurers have exploited the program to inflate their profits by billions. The government pays Medicare Advantage insurers a set amount for each person who enrolls, with higher rates for sicker patients. And the insurers, among the largest and most prosperous in the country, have developed elaborate systems to make their patients appear as sick as possible, often without providing additional treatment, according to the lawsuits. As a result, the program devised to help lower healthcare spending and instead become substantially more costly than the traditional government program it was meant to provide. 8 of the 10 biggest Medicare Advantage insurers, representing more than 2/3 of the market, have submitted inflated bills, according to federal audits, and 4 of the 5 largest players, United Health, Humana, Elevance, which was formerly known as Anthem, and Kaiser Permanente, have faced federal lawsuits alleging that efforts to overdiagnose their customers have crossed a line into what legally constitutes fraud. The 5th company, CVS Health, which owns Aetna, told investors its practices were being investigated by the Department of Justice. In statements, most of the insurers dispute the allegations and lawsuits and said the federal audits were flawed. They said their aim in documenting more conditions was to improve care by accurately describing their patients' health. The government now spends nearly as much on Medicare Advantage's 29 million beneficiaries as on the Army and Navy combined. It's enough money that even a small increase in the average patient's bill adds up. The additional diagnoses, the fraudulent diagnoses, led to $12 billion in overpayments in 2020, according to an estimate from the group that advises Medicare on payment policies, which is enough money to cover the cost of Medicare covering hearing, dental, and vision care for every American over the age of 65. Oh, geez, who's trying to get Medicare to cover
top 1%
dental?
Of the top 5%.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Of the top 25%, yeah.
But, the Democrats told Bernie that they couldn't do that because their healthcare donors would be very upset at basically eliminating one of their sources of income.
This also has like a feedback loop of hospitals charging insane prices.
Yeah,
so you end up with situations because Medicare won't cover dental. You have people like my grandmother, a 77-year-old cancer survivor, whose like thyroids were like fried in the process of beating cancer, now having to spend 10 grand out of pocket so that she can be able to eat, use her teeth to eat, because the part of her jaw that holds together her teeth is falling apart because of the chemo treatments that she had 20 years ago.
Damn. Solidarity.
Why? Because Medicare does not cover dental.
It's fucked.
And you have millions of people like this. In fact, cancer may as well be a death sentence in this country, because if the cancer itself does not kill you, the cost of treating it will. In fact, 40% of cancer survivors in the United States burn through their entire life savings within 2 years just attempting to cover the cost of treatment.
It's true. There's a reason that people leave the United States to get surgeries and stuff.
There's a reason the plot of Breaking Bad happened.
I remember having this conversation with this guy from like New Zealand in December 2019, and he asked me about healthcare, like what happens if you're poor or really sick in this country, and I just straight up said, you die. And he looked so mortified that he didn't know what to say other than, what? And I'm like, yeah, you just die.
Yeah.
What is it, like 68,000 Americans die on average every year because they can't afford to go see a doctor? That's the average.
It's a very common sentiment.
It's between like 68 and 80,000.
I mean, it's not a sentiment, it's a thing that happens, but everyone knows someone who doesn't go to the doctor because of what it'll cost.
So, as a perspective of how much the Medicare overbilling fraud is, in the fiscal year for 2020, the entire budget for the Environmental Protection Agency was $8.7 billion. The estimate of how much Medicare fraud is being committed ranges between 12 and 25 billion.
Crazy.
So the larger end of estimates, there's enough Medicare fraud happening that you could double the budget of the EPA and cover vision and dental for everyone over the age of 65 and still have money left over.
Cover it forever.
Oh, more recent studies. I mean, like, this doesn't give like a solid number on how many people die, but 1/5 of Americans cannot afford healthcare. Like, period.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe that at least. I'm telling you, we gotta make this shit universal and free.
Like, necessary healthcare. So you can crunch the numbers on that, but
think of the beneficiaries.
Think of the shareholders.
Won't anyone think of the shareholders?
Fuck them.
you need to also then factor in the people who are forgoing other things so that they can afford some healthcare that end up having more medical problems as a result of their baseline cost of healthcare, or people that have to like forego other quality of life or have to work more and develop disabilities and limitations because of the
Like
other
me.
adjustments they have to make. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, even if you're not outright dying, you're being set up to have an unhealthy life.
Even if you ain't dying, you dying.
Yeah, I mean, in the sense that, you know, get busy living or get busy dying. I guess.
Yeah.
What's really horrifying is I'm gonna read one last
Read it.
paragraph.
Horrify me.
Quote, the increased privatization of Medicare has come as Medicare's finances have been strained by the aging of baby boomers, but for insurers that already dominate healthcare for workers, the program is strikingly lucrative. A study from Kaiser Family Foundation, a research group unaffiliated with the insurance giant, found that companies typically earn twice as much gross profit from Medicare Advantage programs as from other types of insurance. For people choosing between traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage, there are trade-offs. Medicare Advantage plans can limit patients' choice of doctors and sometimes require jumping through more hoops before getting certain types of expensive care. But they have lower premiums or perks. Perks! Quote, perks! Like dental benefits. Extras, they call dental benefits in this article an extra. Extras that draw beneficiaries to the program, but the more the plans are overpaid by Medicare, the more generous to customers they can be.
Teeth, a luxury in America.
Exactly. That's an optional extra. You don't need those.
Tack that on.
Happy 100th episode, everybody.
You think when they came up with, like, I mean, I know it was Lyndon B. Johnson who, like, signed it into law, but, like, when they were coming up with Medicare, do you think they were thinking, like, perks? That's what it'll be. It'll be perks.
Yeah, perks as in Percocet.
Yeah.
Hey-yo!
Oh!
Hey, you want some perks?
What? Oh, shit.
I wanted to make that joke earlier.
But in all seriousness, addiction is killing tens of thousands of people annually, so, you know.
Safe?
So at least 3 insurers.
I mean, that's one reaction. We gotta have safe injection sites.
Yeah, we do. Fuck.
We do.
We need 'em.
So at least 3 insurers have been accused of paying doctors or nurses more for recording additional diagnoses. These 3 being Humana, Elevance, which used to be known as Anthem, and Kaiser Permanente. And
that is a funny name, first of all. But second of all, are all of the companies that provide Medicare Plus, they're all guilty of this?
Most of them, yes.
Oh, so there's some good ones. Wow, I'm surprised.
There's some bad
and at
apples.
least 5 of these insurers have been accused of failing to remove potentially invalid diagnoses. These including United Healthcare, Humana, Elevance, Kaiser Permanente, and Scan Group. I'm amazed that Scan Group is like committed to all of the violations, considering the fact that they have less than 1% of the market, and yet they've done all of the illegal shit.
This is why when people who have mental illness talk about not wanting to have a diagnosis in their medical records, it's because it will be weaponized against them, even if it's incorrect for the rest of their life.
Speaking of which, Kaiser Permanente and Cigna have been accused of discouraging care for the new diseases they added into patients' medical records.
Wait, say that one more time?
Yeah, say that again. What was that?
Kaiser Permanente and Cigna have been accused of discouraging care for the new diseases they added into patients' files.
Oh, so they add somebody, they say like somebody has this illness, but then they're like, you can't get care for it?
Correct.
And this is the same
That
illness.
is fucking, that's like genuine evil. Like, that's fucked. Like, what the hell? Like, what are they doing?
You're making money.
Like, you have to think that that's like deliberate on some level, because like...
Obviously, dude, this whole thing is deliberate. That's the charge.
It is.
None of this happened by accident.
It's like you would think something like this would be like algorithm shit or some mistake, but like this is insane. It's like that's like hell. That's like a nightmare.
Not only is this like something that's known about, Congress 10 years ago gave the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services the power to regulate billing practices of insurance companies, but they've never chosen to use this. And recently, there was a letter sent to members of the House asking about what are they going to do about Medicaid Advantage doing all this fucking shit. And 80% of House members stated that they support doing anything to protect the plan from anything that might potentially cause instability, which translation means we are going to protect Medicaid Advantage from anyone who tries to fix it because we're fine with how things are.
Christ.
Like, so what you're saying is that they can charge people for a fake illness, and then that makes their premium go up, but then they can't get like care for that fake illness.
Correct.
Which, like, if they get care, even if it's like not real, that has the potentiality of making their premium go down. Yes?
No.
No.
So what's the point of blocking them from getting care for the fake? Like, that's like the logic of it doesn't make any sense to me.
Because the premium gets reimbursed. Like, these companies just take that much off the top. They don't have to treat the person, but they get to keep.
Yeah, it's just.
They get to keep the extra money that they are claiming the client cost them.
It's like one of those things that's so cruel that like my brain cannot compute it. It's like that's what's so weird about it. Like it's goddamn.
This is just a gut instinct, but I think the reason why they don't want people to get treated for the fake illnesses they add is they don't want to run the risk of getting hit with like malpractice lawsuits if like something happens to them.
Yeah.
If they try to get care for the fake illness they have and it turns into a big malpractice thing, because that malpractice lawsuits, that's a lot of money in those settlements.
I just want to take everybody's money.
Yes.
So it's probably like more profitable for them to be like add fake illnesses and then try to prevent them from getting the care than like paying billions of dollars in like malpractice lawsuit settlements.
You wish that we had like stronger, like I'm not saying like cops or just like, but like agencies like,
I don't know, like Health and Human Services?
Yeah, exactly. Like people like that they can send to these fucking offices.
No, Health and Human Services invented this.
Yes. That's why I made the joke, because like they created the monster.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that like we need like some government agency or some agency, because there's like
some Congress.
Yeah, somebody. I don't know. Because like the fucking, for example, like
some House of Representatives, even
the union relation, like the union, basically like it's very underfunded right now.
All of the funding has been stripped from the NLRB, so I know you're gonna talk
they
about.
no longer have the money to be able to like fight Starbucks.
Yeah.
No, exactly, and that's what I mean. Is that we need to have you wish that we had some government agency that had the funding to be able to take on these fucking, that wasn't like the cops, basically.
All of the government agencies that actually do like useful things to society have all been gutted of funding.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of the money has just been given to like the cops, the landlords, and military contractors.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even have a little house
that
as a treat.
Carlene wanted me to open her baby Pepsi can.
Aw.
Oh, baby
little
Pepsi can. Oh, baby
little like 8 ounces. That's all.
I think it's even smaller than that. Hold on,
Aww.
Carlene, can I see that?
Fuck was that, dog?
7.5 ounces.
Oh
Aww. Shit! That is a baby bottle.
Aww. Yeah.
Well,
that's a wee bottle.
God, Pepsi really they really needed to save that last 0.5 ounces of fucking profit.
They did.
We really did just sponsor Pepsi on
Proceeds
our episode.
to screeching metric.
Line go up though.
that half ounce goes straight up to the top. They scoop it right off the top. They're drinking all the. They're taking that Pepsi directly out of your mouth.
They boof
take it right out of my liver.
It gets boofed right up to the 1% of assholes.
The 1% of 1% For far too long. There has not been enough fed season, people.
For far too long.
I mean, to be real though, like that is what rich people did back in the day. They would just like
they would fart.
No, they would just all medical care was just having something put up your ass, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where the term "blowing smoke up your ass" comes from. Because
that's what that's short for.
Yes.
Wait. I like that he said that's what that's short for.
I just only heard blowing smoke.
Yes, it used to be.
I thought it was like a dragon that's trying to breathe fire, but only smoke comes out, like blowing smoke.
It's just anal play, basically.
In the time of miasma theory as the apex of medical knowledge.
Miasma theory.
Yay.
That was how you treated people. You just put things in their ass.
Blow smoke up their ass?
Yeah.
Blow smoke up their ass.
Dude, I'll try it.
There's like a bellows and a tube.
NRLB.
Speaking of it.
Paying
copays to get gaped.
What does gaped mean? I don't know what that word means.
Having shit shoved in your ass.
Whoa. This is one of those like porn
What
verbs.
did you just say? Like, okay.
Like blacked or like...
No, is it one of those like, words they used in like the old times? But then gaped?
That's straight up like porn speak, baby.
I don't watch the fucked up porn that Joe watches, I guess. Yeah. We gaped up our Starbucks
and as I go.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, Joe. I don't believe that. Yeah. Did you know gaped? The popular porn term that means shoving thing up your rectum. It's like what is it's like a piece of trivia.
Your union will help you get gaped. You're entitled to it.
What did I say? Okay, anyways, we gaped up our Star Wars. We got our Star Wars, our Starbucks.
Oh my god,
we gaped up our Star Wars. We gaped up our Starbucks. And, we passed the union election. It was a unanimous win.
You did the thing.
It's a seriously big accomplishment, though.
Congratulations.
We did the thing.
I'm serious. You. Congratulations on that.
Yes, I said thank you. I knew you were serious. Thank you.
I was just trying to make sure that you knew I was being earnest.
I do. Kidding.
From what I heard of you talking about it, Scott, you sounded like you were one of the big pushers for the union happening.
Scott's a big pusher.
I was a big pusher.
For them getting gaped?
Yeah, for gaping up that Starbucks, yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you, Scott. That's very brave.
I use that word episode.
No, that part was genuine. The preceding part...
I know. I'm going to have to use the word gaped every episode now. Perfect. It's too good. Joe, really? What the fuck? Anyways, I have, like, it's this door. It's this door that I want to open so bad, and I can't. Because I don't want to know what's behind there. I don't want to. It's like it's literally barbarian. You don't fucking open the door to the basement. I don't want to find out what's down there, Joe.
Ignorance is bliss.
I watched that movie today. It's very good. Go watch Barbarian.
Bliss, Scott.
Maybe I will watch it.
Yeah, if you have HBO Max. Anyways, Drew wants to talk about something.
Yeah, fucking Activision. I've been a little bit quiet throughout the rest of the podcast because I've been pulling open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Open tabs over there.
I've been pulling open like 13 different tabs of like just a fucking repertoire of the horrible atrocities that Activision Blizzard has performed over the years. This is a wretched company, but I'll start with the recent one, I guess. So just recently, Blizzard Albany. This is a sub-studio of Activision Blizzard based in Albany. I don't recall exactly what games they work on, but they're QA testers. They won their bid to vote for a union, I believe.
Can you break down for people who might not know what are QA testers?
Yeah, I would love to. So
quality assurance, right?
That is what it stands for. For context. Yeah. For context,
I love when I figure that shit out.
Yeah, little acronyms. I'm proud of you, bro. So I just heard my cats knock over something in the other room. I'm afraid to find out what it was, but
Bliss Drew.
If you want to check, you can and come back.
No. I got a bitch for Activision. That comes first. But for context, my background in game development. I'm a games programmer. I've done that professionally for like a year now, unprofessionally like in university for like a while. So I sort of know what I'm talking about.
He make it a game, go a beep or a boop.
I'm making a game. I do it the thing. Yeah, so any of you fucking commenters could comment. I'll comment back.
Comment my ass.
a QA worker. So QA stands for quality assurance. What they do is, as you're making a game and you have a team of like, all right, say you're making a game with like you and your friend, and like I'm working on half of these systems, and your other friend's like, I'm making the art for the game. I make the gun that you add to the player that the game that is shoot out of. And it's like your system. So as you're working on it, you could kind of see, oh, that's broken. I'll fix it. But when you're making a game with like 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 people, there's so many systems at play and so many separate people working on these systems and so many people making changes to each other's systems, overlapping and shit, that eventually it becomes hard to track all this shit that breaks. Shit breaks constantly. Someone makes a change this other thing and it steps on this other thing this other person wrote who left the company like 3 months ago. And like, you need a dedicated team of people who can test the game, see what's broken, know what broken means in the context of the game as it's being developed right now. Like, know what is being worked on and not quite complete yet. Know what has been worked on, should be working, but is now broken in this specific way. They're trained people. I don't want to use the word skilled workers because all work is fucking work, and people
there is no such thing as unskilled labor.
Yeah, like I don't want to rely on that metaphor.
They specialize in navigating
the messy mess that is game development.
Yes.
They know how to see what broken means in the context of development at the very moment, and they file these tickets of, oh, this thing is broken in this way. It should work this way, but it's doing this instead.
So if this is hard for any of the listeners to imagine, I'm sure you can imagine an engineer checking the stability of a bridge and, for instance, writing a report on this brace, it needs reinforcement, or this part is rusting, and then having the knowledge and expertise to be able to say, we need to recommend that these fixes are made. There are people who also do that with video games.
Yeah, it's a great metaphor. Thank you. Sometimes I find it hard to adapt these things to normal humans that aren't beep boop bop machines like me. But yes, so these very people are the beep boop boop bop, are the ones who have committed to a union vote, I believe. It's been hard to follow this stuff, but they have voted for the vote? Is that how it happens?
Are you saying they initiated a union drive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they have initiated a union drive.
Cool.
The NLRB has ruled in favor to have an election. This is complicated because I guess the world fucking makes it complicated, but in practice, on the ground, all these fucking QA people are desperately underpaid. They are paid the baseline, the starting pay for a QA person is like $10, $11 an hour. And you know where most of Activision Blizzard studios are based? Fucking California.
Yeah.
And they're paid that way like across the fucking board. They're paid dick. And it's very frustrating to see that, because they're fucking really hardworking people. A lot of fucking bugs emerge in development, and every time there's like a new build, like a new like batch of the game that has to be tested, they have to test all the same shit again. So it's a hard fucking job. And this is a great step in the right direction for positive change at a horribly wretched company. And I'd like to spend the rest of this segment talking about the horrible shit, the horrible past of this company. So,
go get them.
Following this NLRB ruling, the chief communication officer at Activision Blizzard,
Lulu Cheng Meserve,
she has sent messages in Slack in a channel designed for just shout into the void of the company announcements from the top of the company, a channel which people cannot respond to. She shouted a claim that, oh, you better not fucking unionize because raises could be withheld. You might not want to do that because you don't want your raise to be withheld until a union deal is reached. It could take a long time for that union deal to be reached. There could be a lot of roadblocks put in the way that could keep you from getting your raise. Who do you think fucking puts those roadblocks, motherfucker? Lulu fucking Cheng
Meserve.
So basically they're threatening, like, withhold of pay. That's straight up illegal.
Yeah,
yes.
And the NLRB is fucking... Well, no, not the NLRB. The self-representing union people have claimed that's fucking illegal. And at some point, hopefully, maybe the NLRB will claim that too. I haven't been following this like to the day. I haven't been on Twitter yet 'cause it's a disgusting, horrible site. But that's where I have to learn about all this shit before these fucking other people pick it up.
Well, Elon Musk is about to basically kill the network because he's finally being forced to buy it. And he has said that if he does end up buying it, he's going to lay off 75% of the staff. So
great. So I'm going to find somewhere else to learn about all this bullshit. But speaking of...
You say that like it's a bad thing, dude. I would probably kill myself if I had Twitter.
You better not get it, bro.
Oh, boy.
But I want to take this opportunity, talking about the chief communications officer, to talk about the other C-suite executives, Activision Blizzard. You see, Activision Blizzard, they have a very strong, weathered government to gaming pipeline that they employ. They have a lot of key people that have past government experience that could help them navigate this pesky regulations of the world they operate in. One of these people is Brian Bulatao. Brian
Bulatao.
Sorry, I should have test pronounced that before saying it. You probably didn't fucking hear this guy, because I didn't hear him until I looked up who he was. I was like, huh. So he is the chief administrative officer at Activision Blizzard, and he was the chief operating officer at the
fucking CIA.
Appointed by Mike Pompeo. This dude is fucking buds with Mike Pompeo. They founded a fucking aerospace company together. And hey, maybe that guy has some red roads. I don't fucking know. Maybe he greases some fucking joints. I don't know.
maybe Iran is also trying to assassinate him because the CIA has to spend like $7 million a year on personal protection because Iran's been trying to assassinate Pompeo.
Yeah.
Good.
Of all the industries, the highest paying industry this dude could fucking fall into. Hey, gaming make a lot of money. People love Fortnite. Kids love Fortnite. They do the dancing in Fortnite. They love Fortnite. Let's go do Fortnite.
Yeah,
fucking...
guy can also like helicopter his dick by like guiding the development of games that portray American soldiers as fucking protagonists.
You want someone to make propaganda? Hey, get someone from the fucking CIA. Press LT to aim your gun at the guy and de-escalate. Did you see that? In the newest Call of Duty, there's a sequence where you're like stealth, you're stealth breaching like an apartment complex. They did this in the last Call of Duty too, where like you're sneakily breaching into an apartment complex and you find the guy and you're like, oh, you're brown, I'm gonna shoot you or whatever. Fucking
yeah.
But like what they like they're in this recent one they made, you're like sneakily walking down the alley and someone peeks out from their little apartment door like what all those dudes were doing with guns, and and it instructs you on screen to look at them and say and aim your gun at them. It says press LT to de-escalate. And you're supposed to fucking aim your gun at them to de-escalate.
De-escalate.
Yeah.
De-escalate.
Yeah. It's funny.
Negative. Make it go.
It's such a funny video. It's so like, oh my god.
You want to know someone else that fucking works at Activision from the fucking government? Frances Townsend. Now you may actually, probably not, because I didn't. So I'm fucking stupid or whatever, but you may recognize her. She is
You're just a genius in ways that is unrecognized.
I'm a moron. I'm a fool. I'm a buffoon.
No, it's true. Your genius just goes
I've been an idiot this whole episode.
Frances Townsend is the chief compliance officer for Activision Blizzard, but you may know her as the Homeland Security Advisor to President George W. fucking Bush.
Fuck, dude.
She works at fucking Activision.
God.
Is that like a lateral
to video game pipeline, bro?
Yeah,
She was the fucking torture apologist for George W. Bush. She was the fucking person on CNN.
Oh my God.
She was the person on CNN being like, we're fucking, they deserve it. Oh, we're not torturing, so the waterboarding ain't so bad.
If we wait until a threat is here inside our borders to address it, we are most likely to fail. So we have to push those borders back. We have to push those borders out.
Let's understand what we mean by enhanced interrogation.
Sure, waterboarding is the technique most, I think, Americans think of when they think enhanced interrogation techniques, torture.
Is sleep denial enhanced interrogation?
You know, what you got to look back to is the Army Field Manual. If it's permitted by the Army Field Manual, it's legal and you can do it. Ambassador Mark Wallace, formerly with the UN during the Bush administration, and I announced the Counter-Extremism Project. The idea is to provide that counter-narrative, to create a public-private partnership where the private sector and non-governmental organizations can actually help.
We can no longer simply watch. The time for regime change is today. It's now.
What was her name?
Frances Townsend. Frances with an E at the end, not an I.
Sounded really like familiar.
Yeah, she fucking
We tortured some folks. The famous words of our president Barack Hussein Obama in 2014.
We might have
tortured
a few folks.
You know how George Bush had his, like, now watch his drive? Like, he should have had this, like, now watch his fucking swish, and he, like, shoots the basketball. He should have had one of those. Anyway.
Get wrecked, bitch.
The business executive who served as Homeland Security Advisor.
Yeah.
From 2004 to 2007.
Chief Compliance
Officer. And then you...
Compliance, that's a very interesting word.
Oh, it's because she worked for Microsoft.
Yeah, she comes from all these fucking people come from big law firms or big tech companies or the government. But she actually just recently stepped down from her position. My understanding of the dynamics of this shit is she was foisted out by Bobby Kotick. I think because there was a letter that was sent out. I don't remember. Oh yeah, it was a very distasteful. So there was an incident that happened.
Wait a second. Hold on a second.
All right.
The Activision Blizzard
Activision.
Go on.
Now I just feel self-conscious.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Do
the thing, dude. I'm sorry.
ActivisionBlizzard.com. They have the exact same color scheme as GoArmy.com.
No way, bro.
Like, it's the same visual template.
So
it's insane.
It's all the same fucking people. But what I was going to say was that Frances Townsend, I believe, is no longer the chief compliance. Well, she stepped down from the chief compliance officer position, but she still has board seats. I guess that's all that fucking really matters. But,
yeah, she's now senior counsel.
Yeah, well, I believe she stepped down because she was probably forced out by Bobby Kotick, the dastardly fucking evil villain of this whole story.
What did he do?
Well, he did a lot of shit. I'm about to, dude. This is the first arc. This is like arc 1 of 3, motherfucker. It's coming. But she was foisted out for reasons I'm not privy to because they're not public, but I could tell just from the dynamics of what's going on publicly that she was foisted out. Bobby Kotick had her write this letter that was denouncing these sexual harassment, frat boy workplace allegations that were made.
Oh, that's a good sign.
Yeah. So like the state of California has been for the past 2-3 years engaged in a lawsuit with Activision Blizzard, accusing them of maintaining and fostering a frat boy culture, is the quote. Just people fucking groping and fucking harassment and revenge porn. Revenge porn's the most recent one, actually. Just this past 2 weeks, there was the latest suit that a manager, Miguel Vega, he had like a subordinate under him who he had like a relationship for a while. Miss Dell. She wasn't named for the suit because that's not...
Because that would be fucked up, right?
Yeah, that would be fucked up. But they had a relationship for a bit. She sent him some pictures, and then he used these pictures in the future when they no longer had a relationship.
That motherfucker.
As blackmailing, as, she never got a raise under him because he would try to fucking make advances on her, like, oh, maybe you'll suck me off. And she's like, no, fuck you. Like, all right, fuck you. I'll never give you a raise. For the time from 2016 to 2021, she never got a fucking raise.
Maybe you'll suck me off.
And she eventually left. And eventually, after all this shit started coming out, she felt a little more empowered to make a lawsuit about this.
She didn't suck him off.
This all happens. This all happens under. Sorry, I'm just gonna continue going.
I mean that positively. I don't mean that negatively.
No,
Okay.
no, I don't mean to just like rub you under the rugs. I disagree. I just have a lot of shit to fucking rant about.
No, I know. I'm just saying. She didn't succumb. She didn't suck him off, and that's good.
This all happens under the purview of Activision CEO Bobby Kotick. I'll lead with the fact Bobby Kotick is one of the people named in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Let's start with that.
I was gonna say,
look it up, Jeff.
Oh God,
look it up. Bobby Kotick is in the Black Book.
But this is what these powerful people do.
Yeah.
They just get each other on film fucking naked or doing some perverse thing. And then the person on film just becomes a corporate puppet.
Bobby Kotick has always been a piece of shit, even before he was probably buzzed with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
He's always been fucking and sucking.
Dude, as soon as this motherfucker got money, he was an asshole. There's a really long, extensive article about...
Honestly, what you're describing sounds a lot like the CIA's policy for, like...
fucking a second?
No, controlling assets. Like, you get something incriminating on them, and then you just use it to own them.
Yeah.
That's what this manager did, and that's what a lot of managers did. In fact, there was another fucking incident where a woman at Activision Blizzard committed suicide. The article lists the name, so I wouldn't be doing anything by saying it. But this woman, Carrie Moynihan, this is a really depressing story. So trigger warning, I guess, for anyone who doesn't like suicide. But this woman,
it's just upsetting.
For anyone who doesn't like suicide.
All right, fucking.
So we got any
phrase it better than me
in the audience who love suicide.
I got a lot to go through
turn
here.
It up.
All you fucking suicide fans out there, get ready.
I'm sorry.
I feel really bad making that joke going into this. All right, this is a really fucking depressing bit to do. But Carrie Moynihan, she had a horrible fucking deal. So she committed suicide in 2017. This is well before the frat boy culture allegations that I had even heard about. But this is around the time I knew Bobby Kotick was a piece of shit, but just for fucking laying off a bunch of people. But there was a corporate retreat that took place, and it was probably a similar arrangement where there was someone in a position of power over her, where she had a relationship with them, and somehow these naked pictures of her got into the hand of someone at the company. And at this corporate retreat, this person who she was in a hotel room with for shitty reasons, I imagine. I guess like that was the way the corporate retreat functioned. Well, this guy propositioned her. He brought fucking sex toys. He was like, and she was like, oh, fucking Christ. And then later that night, that same guy started sharing the naked pictures of her at the retreat she was at with all her fucking coworkers. That's horrible. That's fucking terrible. Like, how do you go to work the next day? How do you So this is what led to her suicide. She was just humiliated in her own workplace, just repeatedly, regularly, or maybe just in this one weekend. But
I mean, it's humiliating every time you walk into work.
You can't be naked in the foot. You can't.
Nobody will look at you the same way again.
Yeah,
especially if what you're talking about, you say there's like a culture of misogyny and sexual abuse and sexual harassment, like. Whatever. I don't have to explain this. We know how misogyny is. It's not good.
We know how it be.
It's especially prevalent in the games industry. It's a male-dominated industry. I was just talking to a coworker today about, like, she was asking, hey, I heard you went to the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, and I was wondering, should I go? Like, do you have any advice? I was like, yeah, it was really fun, but there's a lot of, like, gatherings at bars, so if you want to, like, avoid creepy guys, then, like, and she was like, oh, yeah,
Bring pepper spray.
I have like 8 friends. I have 8 friends who had horrible encounters at GDC, so I kind of knew that. But I was just wondering, like, it's
wow. I don't even have 8 friends.
No, like every woman I know who's gone to GDC has had some horrible creep story like that. A fucking relevant reference, at the GDC I went to, the Activision had a panel about like empowering women in gaming, and at that panel, like 3 women got groped.
Wow.
There were like Twitter posts like, did anyone else get fucking like groped or like fucking something like that at the conference? And this one was like, yeah, and someone else was like, yeah, I did too.
Activision wanted to show everyone what groping was.
In practice, what happened is there was a women's conference and a bunch of creepy guys went to it.
Yeah, it's like the male feminist that's like, just so you know, the entire time we've been friends, I never once have asked you for anything untoward. As you are a kind lady and I value our friendship.
And I tip my fedora in your general direction. Let's talk a little more about Bobby Kotick while you guys aren't fucking already tired of me. This guy has
I'm having a great time, Drew.
he has threatened to have his former assistant killed. He's left, I think, 2 instances of this, actually. He left, like, a voicemail that hit in, like, 2006 that he will fucking kill you to his former assistant. And his lawyers are like, his quote, obviously hyperbolic and inappropriate. Bobby Kotick, quote, deeply regrets the exaggeration in tone, unquote, in the message, period. Do line. But
does that qualify as assault? Because, like...
Fucking, not for rich people. It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, okay.
But...
It's a good point. It's a good point. If he was poor, though,
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know what else I should Sorry, I'm just flipping through all these tabs I opened up rapidly over the past fucking, 40 minutes or so. Let's talk about the Cosby Suite. So, at Activision Blizzard, Activision Blizzard is the conjoined twin of the company Activision, the company Blizzard. And the company Blizzard makes the game World of Warcraft. And the creative director of World of Warcraft, or at the time, the creative director, I don't know if that's still true, is this guy, Alex Afransiabi. Sorry, I probably kind of butchered that. Not sorry this motherfucker, but anyone else.
Yeah, his name doesn't need to be pronounced correctly.
So this guy was named in this lawsuit of the frat boy culture, and he was, quote, known to engage in the harassment of females. He was known to, quote, hit on female employees, telling them he wants to marry them, attempt to kiss them, put their arms around
dork,
them.
Dude.
Yeah, he's a motherfucker. Let's talk about his BlizzCon. This is the Blizzard Conference 2013 hotel room. This is when Bill Cosby was outed as a sexual predator. He decided to make his hotel room a shrine to Bill Cosby. He got a framed picture of Bill Cosby. He mounted it to the wall of this hotel room. He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of picture 9. You got 9 dudes to all take a fucking picture around this fucking framed picture of Bill Cosby. They're telling on their fucking selves, dude. They just this was not pre-Cosby Predator. This is post-Cosby Predator.
Yeah, no, that's fucked.
And normally,
they posted this on Facebook. They called it the Cosby Shrine.
Normally, I think I consider myself to be an opponent of the death penalty.
Go on.
Bill Cosby, accused by
maybe exceptions here.
60 women of sexual assault and rape. They framed this person's picture and put it up on the wall. They're all doing like the soy face, where they're like, they're all, dude. This is a funny picture because they're all the fucking the soy jack. The 2 dudes pointing back at they're all pointing back at Bill Cosby. This is like 6 layers of funny, except for the it's bad part, which kind of negates the
7 layers of cake and lawsuits.
I try to fucking find humor in the horrible because, like, I have to find some silver lining.
Here's why it's funny, because they got fucking caught. Good.
It's like seeing a celebrity do blackface. Like, dude, it's so easy. It's so I don't do blackface every single day. It's so easy to not do blackface.
Yeah.
Dude, literally.
I only do it on special occasions and Thursdays.
No, that is the episode title. It's pretty easy to not do blackface.
It's pretty easy.
It is. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Oh fucking god! Am I out of fucking ammunition to unload on?
Are you?
I mean,
Activision sucks.
Keep going if you have any more.
I like some of their games.
I have some ammunition to unload against the fucking people who would sympathize with Bobby Kotick, because all right, you know how they try and employ these. Oh, we're going to have Bobby Kotick take a 50% pay cut so we can make you guys feel better about us. This was at the time when Raven Software was unionizing. This is not Albany, the Albany office, which is currently unionizing, but Raven Software, which has since successfully unionized and voted for a union.
Aren't they in Bethesda?
Raven Software is one of the support studios for the Call of Duty games under Activision Blizzard. Well, actually, technically, Blizzard is now owned by Microsoft, who has also bought Activision Blizzard. So yes, technically,
Jesus Christ,
under the fucking spiderweb mess that is the game development industry right now.
What the fuck?
But I was also saying that Raven Software was the one unionizing at the time when Bobby Kotick was like, "Oh, I'm gonna address all of your concerns and take a 50% pay cut." Do you know how much Bobby Kotick's salary was? This is his pay cut that he's cutting. His salary. Bobby Kotick's salary, his yearly salary, was $2 million, but that's a very small percentage of his stock compensation, which makes him one of the most highly paid CEOs in the games industry. And in 2013, one of the most highly paid CEOs in America, where he received, I think it was...
One of those highly paid CEOs in the game.
In the fucking game, period. I think he made, Well, let's talk about what he's gonna make when he... let's talk about what he's gonna make when he resigns from Activision Blizzard in the pending acquisition by Microsoft. So yeah, the golden parachute, exactly.
The Activision acquisition.
Do you want to know? Actually, I'm going to Google it because I don't remember the exact number, but I have a ballpark idea. Bobby Kotick, golden parachute. $293 million in this golden parachute. No matter what happens. Well, okay.
And remind me, how much is his stock option pay worth?
Probably more than that. Well, maybe that's the cash out from his stock option. I can't keep track.
Because that's like the Steve Jobs, like the payout percentage of, we're not going to take any salary, but like in terms of like cash, we're going to get paid in stock, which is worth a lot more.
Yeah, so cutting his salary in half doesn't mean shit, because his salary is only a small percentage of what he makes overall. It's all gestures. It's all fucking hand-waving, dick-sucking gestures.
Yay!
Bobby Kotick is a horrible, wretched man from the ground up. The minute this man started, before he started making money, he was screwing people over. Before Bobby Kotick was one of the co-founders at Activision Blizzard, he didn't know dick about computers. He still doesn't know.
He didn't know dick about shit.
He didn't know dick and balls about computers. He still doesn't.
He didn't know dick balls and ass about shit.
But he had a roommate who did, and he's a conniving motherfucker, and it's all it takes to make it in America. So he started a company with him. And he had an employment of 14, 15 people. That's what it takes to make a game company in the 80s. It was pretty small. And they were working on games and stuff, and eventually they all got fucking laid off, because that's the way it goes sometimes. Bobby Kotick laid them all off, but he didn't give them severance. They were all promised severance. They didn't get severance, but he fucking ran and shit didn't happen. They haven't been paid severance to this day. He went and founded Activision Blizzard, just his fucking severance not paying money. They didn't pay him. And he fucking probably played the same fucking game that he played there. He didn't know dick about computers, but he's a conniving motherfucker, and he crawls his way up to the top somehow. This is the kind of dude who will, like, and this is real, I read this from an article, a long scathing article about Bobby Kotick. He's the kind of dude that'll have, like, construction on his, like, $15 million house, and then, like, try and, like, not pay his way, like, through the fucking contractors. Oh, you didn't do this. I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to pay you over this.
So basically the Donald Trump movement, like, stiffing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he is the Donald Trump of the video games industry. He's less vocal, but in behavior, in terms of how he fucking treats people, he is Trump-like. He is a Trump-like, as games like to genre things. He is a Trump-like.
He's a Trump-like. He's a Trump.
He's a Trump. Like.
It's a Trump life.
I think I'm out of. I think I'm out of things to say about Activision.
Video games.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game, Joe?
That's a tough question.
It is a tough question.
What's your favorite video game of all time and your favorite current video game? That's the one.
All time? Oof, that's hard. Right now, I think MLB The Show 22. It's one of my primary coping mechanisms with, existence.
Yeah.
Lets me just, distract myself for a while.
I think I had a friend who worked on that, actually.
I distract myself with baseball. Okay, that's fine.
This is probably, I don't know how related it is, but it made me think of the guy who is, or I guess he used to be famous for making the
Kurt Schilling.
No.
38.
No,
38
he
pitches.
did actually. He did.
Yes, Kurt Schilling actually did own a video game company.
Yeah, he did, and I know people who used to work there because I'm in the Boston area.
All right,
sorry, Jesse.
Sorry,
Jesse.
Go ahead.
It's not even close to what I was going to say.
Sorry, go ahead. He defrauded Maryland of millions with an M.
He's also defrauded Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was Rhode Island, not Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Jesse, sorry.
Jesse, sorry, go ahead.
That's fine.
No, come on, bro. Yeah, I can't, man.
Okay, so the guy who was, I guess, historically known for creating the zip format, like zip archives.
It's a big thing.
Like a zip drive? So zip file?
He's ostensibly the author of the code. It's like a compression algorithm. Like
okay, yeah, okay. I get that.
there's a lot of different methods of compression, but he actually stole it from another guy.
Awesome.
And profited off of it for like most of his adult life, and then died in a pile of garbage and alcohol.
There's a lot of stories of like
Monopoly is on this.
He was the guy. He didn't know everything, but he had the friend who did. And they developed it together, but then he stole it out from under his fucking nose or whatever.
Monopoly was conceived that way.
Like fucking Microsoft, like this shit, Monopoly, Facebook, all of it. I don't know.
It was easy to prove in court too, because like the comments on the code were identical to the original work. Like, he didn't even make any effort. The comments in the code do absolutely nothing for the code.
In Facebook's case, I don't very eagerly come to Mark Zuckerberg's aid because he's a stupid fucking idiot.
He's a psychopath.
Well, that's what I was saying.
He's a robot.
Is the bad guy would be the one who would steal the idea at the end of the day, is what I'm saying.
The Winklevoss twins had an idea, but when it comes to software, or mostly games, but software too, an idea is worthless. It's the dude who makes it, the implementation.
It's the guy who has the patent.
Yeah.
Legally, yeah. But the Winklevoss
Well,
twins
I guess I'm a fucking idiot.
should have learned to fucking code before they spewed the idea around, I guess. I don't know.
Should have told me.
I will say The Social Network is a great movie.
It's fucking incredible, though. It really is.
It's the best commentary on computer science culture that I've ever seen. Just the elitism.
What the fuck does that mean, bro? I gotta hear this. What?
Well, just the elitism of it all. Well, it's also very Harvard-y, because he was at an Ivy League school. But like, it's just the snarkiness that you see very commonly with computer science people, the know-it-all kind of fucking elitism that you see with these people. I think in games is a different sort of culture, but in software, it's like the whole crypto blockchain. Like people in blockchain think they could solve every fucking problem blockchain.
Yeah.
Or it's software in general. They think they could fix everything with some code when there's infrastructural problems preventing that.
And that actually tracks with like the metaverse, and like they finally have legs, even though that was a lie, and all that shit. That was funny. And yes, Joe is like, actually, I find it fascinating that we have some commentary on the games industry on this show. I like that. But yeah, Joe reminded us that we forgot to mention the short tenure of one former British Prime Minister, Liz Truss.
The lettuce has outlasted her.
The lettuce is best.
It's Liz Truss.
Liz Truss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liz Truss
set the record for the shortest prime ministership in the history of Britain.
Speedrun.
At 45
Shorter than
days.
like Lord Boner or whatever the guy's name was.
Yes. She
Well,
only
he busted
served
early.
45
He
days.
busted early. Shut up. Lord Boner busted too early in his reign.
In the month and a half that she was in power, she killed the Queen, crashed the pound, crashed her own party, and nearly completely demolished her country's finances.
Excellent work, Agent 47.
That's what happens when you put conservatives in charge.
Is
of
the
your
makings of a legend.
Yeah, it really is.
It's pretty based.
Oh, dude,
It's pretty based anti-imperialism from a Brit.
And now she gives way to a almost billionaire Indian guy. So, you know what's really funny is that the Prime Minister chooses the bishops for the Church of England. And
that's weird.
For the first time.
That's genuinely fucking weird.
For the first
well,
time.
they are the prime
the bishops
minister.
for the Church of England will be chosen by a practicing Hindu.
Ah! That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, good for them, but like in the same half-hearted way as like, what's her name? Our vice president, who I'm fucking blanking on right goddamn now.
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
That's like how uninspiring she is that she can be the vice president and like you can forget who she is.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude! I want to strangle the man who sang that song.
Yeah, I'm getting
Randy
flashbacks
Rainbow?
of 2020. Not the good kind.
All right.
What's the good kind, dude? What happened?
All right, we're going long.
We have one more thing to cover.
But yeah, the lettuce has outlasted her and given way to probably the wealthiest prime minister in the history of the country.
Oh yeah.
Because the incoming prime minister.
What did Biden call him?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Like
Shadid Chinook or something.
Yeah, like that.
Hell yeah.
Prime Minister Chinook Helicopter.
Oh, come on.
Chinook Helicopter, as he shall not be known as, has a net worth of $837 million and also hates working class people. So the lettuce prime minister has given way to basically an Indian Trump because he is an adherent of...
No. I adorize for sure the Indian Trump.
He is an adherent of trickle-down economics and plans to pursue basically the same plan as Truss, but like slightly tamped down just enough to get like the central bankers in England to like be okay with it.
So
just enough to like not crash the economy.
Great. So everyone wins.
He'll fail. Anyways, I don't know what program it was. It was maybe it was the BBC or something, but like they didn't know what to do about her ousting. And so, like, the program, basically, it's like, we know that her favorite artist is Taylor Swift. And so they played this, like, montage of Liz Truss and her, like, speech about her resigning, like, while playing Blank Space. And it was so weird. It was so weird and funny. It was very strange.
I think you could describe Britain in one sentence.
Yeah. It's so fucking strange. What a weird country.
It's like an aliens concept of, like...
And then there's that weird guy with the glasses.
Oh, Jacob Rees-Mogg?
Yeah, that guy. I watched the history on that guy. Dude, he's like a vampire. Like a legitimate vampire.
He is like a total vampire.
Sorry, Jesse.
Like Prince that meme I shared that like Jesse would react to laughing at. Like, he's like a racist drawing of an English person.
Yeah, but he's literally said shit like, I hate working class people and I think people who can't work are like subhuman and shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He said shit like that. He's genuinely quoted saying that shit.
He's got like the fangs out kind of libertarian of like, the poor and disabled are a drag on the state. We must liquidize all of them.
Anyways, we're going long.
Anyways, what's for lunch?
Cuba's
sweeping. Oh, fuck.
Cuba's for lunch, ladies and gents. And
that's in Cuban.
Everybody who doesn't fit within the binary gender spectrum.
Guys, gals, and non-gender pal.
I feel like slow roasted Bobby Kotick for like 48 hours or something, like a slow cooker. Dude, I would eat the shit out of that, bro. He must taste so good.
I misgendered Halcyon.
Must be all those
I felt bad about it. I corrected myself.
Dude, oh my fucking god, the stock options. Oh, dude, I could taste them.
Anyway, Cuba.
We're talking about bullshit.
Oh shit, we have a whole nother segment.
A month prior to the time of recording, Cuba passed probably the most progressive legislation that has ever been passed.
Anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Cuba, in a referendum on September 25th, passed a new family code. I really wish I could read from the original document. It's in Spanish, so...
No habla español.
Well, I speak a little bit, but like, not legalese. I don't even speak fucking English legalese.
Fair.
There were so many really bad headlines about this. I was reading these headlines and then heard my opinion reflected back to me by Sam Sachs the next morning, so I feel vindicated in my judgment of American
I know exactly what you're talking
media outlets. But Cuba was criticized heavily for passing this new family code, which I'll get into.
The one from the Miami Herald was probably the funniest.
Yeah, they were criticized in the press because there was a hurricane approaching, and I guess you can't walk and chew gum at the same fucking time.
I guess you can't like exist while there's a hurricane coming and actually do something productive.
Yeah, you can't do that. But nonetheless, they managed to do it. The majority of the Cuban population voted to redefine... what the fuck is that?
Sorry.
Damn it.
Wasn't me. I have no pens with me.
I stopped.
Okay. I forgot what I was talking about.
Sorry.
Why we can't have nice things?
Joe, we can have all the nice things.
I'm sorry. I got like really tired in the last 15 minutes for some reason.
Yeah.
So what Cuba has done through this referendum is essentially redefine what a family is as any combination of adults of any ages, of any gender or sexual orientation. There are no barriers to adoption. They didn't write specific legislation for the LGBTQ plus community because none of that is relevant anymore. Because whoever the fuck you are, however you identify, your rights are equivalent. Like, if you're straight, if you're trans, if you're gay, there's no legislation carved out for you specifically because all of those people
are now equal under the law.
Yeah, they're equally valid under this new family code.
So in other words, to quote Sam Sachs, centuries ahead of everywhere else.
Exactly. So
it's pretty dope.
It acknowledges that raising children and taking care of elderly and disabled people within the family,
both important.
In acknowledging that it requires labor to support those people, it guarantees that those people will be provided for rather than just like foisting it upon the family to take care of on its own, which is not actually anything new in Cuban law. It's been a part of the family law in Cuba since 1975.
It's what they call like socialized.
Is this just like recodifying?
Like socialized care, right? You know? What a concept. That's socialized medicine for you. What a crazy concept.
I know, right? It's so hard to imagine.
This could be us, but you playing.
And it also allows those people to have like pursue options for how they're cared for rather than just taking whatever they are allowed by the state.
They're allowed to have dignified existences. Isn't that a concept?
Yeah, like they can articulate personal preferences.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Why would we give people those?
Anyway.
I know, right? Instead of giving me like 19 different forms to fill out just to verify that I am crippled enough to like need certain services to exist.
Right. So children, under the new family code, the language has been changed so that children are no longer under the custody of a parent. Rather than that, it places the responsibility on a parent to care for the child, and in doing so, gives the child, defined as, like a minor, somebody under 18, not a coal miner, everybody has their own sort of journey in how they want to identify and how they want to like prosper and flourish. So the family code allows for the child to make, again, decisions about what family they want to identify with. And again, this doesn't have to be like a two-parent unit. It can be any number of people.
Hell yeah.
Who choose to associate with each other.
And I'm gonna assume it doesn't have to be like
it's defined as basically any group of people who like love each other is what is legally defined as a family, which is
really codified
completely
that
unsurprising that the strongest source of opposition to this family law was the Roman Catholic Church, because they were terrified that this would basically mark the beginning of the slippery slope to the breakdown of the patriarchy.
I'm just going to skip this bit because I was scolding Drew for picking up an echo and resume. So in Cuba, children have the ability to choose their own family rather than being under the custody of the family that they were born into or adopted into, as in meeting a strict definition of two heterosexual parents of opposite gender or anything like that.
They're basically attempting to undo the scars of Operation Pedro.
Of what?
I don't know what that is.
It was back in the early 60s, 70s, and like the 80s. The U.S. government trying to basically kidnap Cuban children, get them off the island, and then like try to Americanize them.
Way back in the 1980s.
That's insane.
I forgot about that shit. Yeah.
I gotta watch Blowback Season 2.
Listen.
I do it with my eyes too. I just pretend.
So anyway, Cuba's not like a fucking prison like everybody pretends it is. Like, there's freedom of religion, there's freedom of association,
free healthcare, and
free
the best
healthcare
in the world, actually.
There's free housing. So this was basically this legislation. The referendum was like it was basically written through public input, and like Joe said, has been denounced by the evangelicals in the Catholic Church.
Well, of course.
But God forbid we dismantle the patriarchy.
Yeah.
God forbid.
So, really, like,
piss off the church,
This is an absolutely massive achievement for the Cuban people. Over the past few years, the LGBTQ plus movement in Cuba has been, it's been more and more of like a public effort. Havana has been for the past like decade. They have basically an entire month of celebration for LGBTQ.
Fucking
but don't we have like Pride Month though?
Is it a month long?
Supposed to be.
That's when Coca-Cola changes its bottles from...
You couldn't see. I had to...
That's when at Pfizer they changed the flag to have like the rainbow for like 3 weeks and be like,
"We hear you."
Everyone who does that with their profile picture should be put on like a nationally tracked list of pussies.
Yeah. What?
Like you're just...
You couldn't or cowards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how I thought. I thought you were gonna end the sentence way more.
No, just like agreed upon list of cowards. Just like these people are just trying to look cool and not do anything.
You
Sorry,
couldn't
go
see
ahead.
my craven smile when I said that.
Anyways, needless to say, this juxtaposes quite nicely with the United States taking away abortion rights and now
yeah, who's the authoritarian now?
locking up trans kids and shit. And also the entire UN, except for the US and its puppets, have voted to end the blockade on Cuba.
I think it was like the United States, Israel, and Ukraine.
Well, Ukraine abstained.
It's always you fucking...
It's semantics.
So did Colombia, but like that's...
But Colombia's doing land reform now, so...
Well, that's a story for like a whole other...
Isn't
Colombia's a client state.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that the United States has corrupted to all fuck with drug lords. But that'll be a story for another episode. But anyway, yeah, so in a rare moment, I want to acknowledge the Boston DSA for actually doing some good work through the Internationalism Working Group. And I think they pushed some legislators to condemn the blockade or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they pushed the Somerville City Council.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw a tweet about it.
So Boston DSA is working with elected officials to amplify our sentiments about the blockade on Cuba, and I think that's extremely important because international solidarity is the path to working class liberation. I said that with way less enthusiasm than I felt it.
You put me to sleep saying that.
Yeah, more so than all these fucking NGOs.
Sorry. I don't know why I'm so tired.
It's fine, dude. I'm fighting it too.
It's been a lot. 100.
You're saying it on the inside.
Episode 100. 100 is the most arbitrary number.
Yeah, we're fucking losers.
Only in a base 10 system does 100 mean fucking anything.
Okay.
Dude, and base 2, no one can hear you scream.
Dude, I fucked 100 chicks, though. No, I haven't.
It's 1,000.
I don't know. It seems like a big deal, but like there's no...
Well, I wish you would be.
There's absolutely no mathematical significance to 100.
Okay, buddy. Jesus Christ. You're really trying to underplay the significance of 100. I love it. It's so good.
No, I'm glad.
Oh, wow. I wish it would be.
I'm really stoked on the fact that like this podcast has lasted this long. I just like
He's waiting for like a perfect square, like 128.
Like an 8-leaf clover.
No, that's how my brain thinks. Like a power of 2 would make more sense to me.
144.
That's not a power of 2.
No, that's something fucked up. When,
that's a gross.
When I was like...
I'm not good at math, so I'll leave that to rest.
144 is gross.
My dog passed away at 16 years old, and while I was sad he passed away, I gained a small amount of satisfaction that he passed away on like a perfect
Power
factor
2.
of 2 number. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I relate. I feel that.
I'm glad I could relate to one person on one level, but that fucked up.
Well, it's also, dude, what's also weird to me is like, because array indices start at 0. Like,
Dude,
it's weird. The idea of counting starting with 1 is weird.
The Calvin scale.
Like, how else would you represent none? How representing none is stupid.
It's 1 less than the first one.
Let's end this podcast right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway,
no, but the thing is,
if you have listened to us for the past, probably nobody has been listening to us since
you're
the very
a fucking
beginning.
loser. My brother probably has.
But
well, Will's not a loser. He gets a pass.
I'm really glad that we managed to last this long. We've put so much work into this shit. May not seem like it, but we do.
But we do. Damn it.
I don't even edit this shit. I don't even know how much.
Thick through thin. And thin. We've been through a lot.
Yeah. Like, we honestly together have had some emotional... I'm serious, bro.
No, I know. And that's why I'm laughing, because I don't want to get into it.
We've had, like, some genuinely... emotionally difficult experiences, and we're still fucking here, yo. And it's really cool. And I love you guys. You guys are my comrades.
Welcome. Love you too, man.
Try Guys, watch out.
Oh, proud of the Try Guys. My God. No, the thing is, the Pride Month stuff, it reminds me of a meme where it's like the evolutionary chart. And it's like at the end of Pride Month, and it's like later homo. Corporations at the end of Pride Month, later homo. Anyway,
they're like holding their breath in the noxious fumes of gayness.
Yeah, everything's co-opted by capitalism.
Yeah.
What else is there to say, folks? It's fucking late. Jesus Christ, we've been going for 2 hours. Anyways, that is it. Go listen to Faith. Or don't.
Go sneeze on Bobby Kotick. Go find him and sneeze on him, or plant little banana peels in his path so he slips and falls.
Yeah. Because real life is Mario Kart.
Go fucking.
He found the blue shell.
Drizzle a little.
We're fucked.
Break into his house and drizzle a little bit of pepper on his nose so he sneezes a little bit and wakes up that way, because that's unsatisfying.
Yeah, let's hope he's trying to hold in a fart, so he accidentally farts.
Yeah, and he sneezes and farts.
Yeah.
End this podcast right now. Cut all this out.
What, does he have children?
Probably, I don't
if
know.
he did, just have hope that, something bad happens to his kids. I'm kidding.
I
hope he sneezes while he's wearing a face.
Shut up! Stop saying that. God damn it. Oh yeah, and what's his name? Who's the fat guy who rolled around the White House hugging his own dick?
Dude, what?
Scaramucci. No, Scaramucci is the one who accused Steve Bannon of doing that, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, Steve Bannon. Yeah, Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon is going to jail for like 4 months.
Yeah, for contempt of Congress.
Love it. Oh, fuck that fat guy.
Hey, let's not make fun of his appearance. We can make fun of him.
Okay, fuck that white supremacist.
We can make he's like a fucking Nazi.
He is.
There's a lot to hate Steve Bannon.
He's a terrifying man who actually
dislike him more accurately.
He's like falling apart in front of our eyes. He's a piece of shit. Anyways, 2 hours.
Like how Rudy Giuliani's like actively melting on camera.
No. God.
Is Rudy Giuliani also going to jail?
Damn it.
You know who's like actively melting on camera? Papa John, when he said remember right before COVID where he made that video about how he ate 40 pizzas in 30 days or something like that?
Wow.
That guy, he's sweating so profusely that it's a really good video. I just wanted to bring back the consciousness.
How does his liver still function after all of that?
Dude, you can live on pizza.
What?
Kidding?
This fucking multimillionaire
not Papa John's
40
pizza.
pizzas in 30 days. That's so funny.
I would disagree. I have lived on pizzas. Shut the fuck up.
No, you can, but I would not. If I could live on pizza, I would not choose Papa John's.
Oh yeah.
That seems like a punishment, really, more than anything.
That's like kids' birthday party venue.
I've never
pizza.
had Papa John's, so I don't know. I have good pizza in East Boston. I have Santarpia, so I'm fine.
Oh yeah, because you've never had the opportunity as a child.
I'm not kidding.
Or any other time in your life to get Papa John's.
I've never had Papa John's.
I'm sure you went over to your fucking friend's house when you were
I've never had it.
8 years old, and they were like, "We're gonna get Papa John's." You were like, "No, let's order Valentino's instead." And they were like, "Okay." Because that's what friends do, right?
What are we
we
arguing
make pizza
about?
recommendations to our 8-year-old friends.
I can't. Oh my god.
I'm sure that's what happened, Scott. That's sure.
Everyone came.
Real believable. I'm sure that happened. Right out of your mouth, dude. Those words came up right out of your mouth.
All of the Papa John's haters have been waiting for this moment the whole podcast.
It's what people listen to us for.
You done?
Yes.
They've been biting their tongue.
I'm getting revenge for my segment being so crudely hijacked.
Sorry.
I apologize for this.
Really
this is probably one of the funnest podcast episodes we've ever recorded.
I had fun.
Joe, you say that literally almost every week, and I love it that you do that.
I really mean it.
Let me just tell you, this was a fun fucking podcast.
I've been looking forward to fucking bitching about Bobby Kotick and Activision for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, I like that we got some video game perspective.
Yeah, I
I've been
enjoyed it
waiting
as well.
to unload on I've just been waiting. I've been really excited.
All right.
Just had blue
My
balls.
name is Scott.
Okay.
I'm Drew.
Sweaty Wife on social media. Come and follow me. I recently got unbanned from Twitter. Yeah, come and follow me, sweaty wife. Anyways, Drew, where can we find you?
Fucking fine, I'll share my Twitter. Well, it's weird. It's like my name, but spelled wrong. It's Drew, DREWGRHAM.
Oh,
I'm gonna regret that.
Oh, like
But
wait, G.
Listen to the recording when it gets uploaded, you lazy cocksucker. All right, that's me.
Nope, I found you. All right, there we go. That's easy.
Drew.
Or not Drew.
Joe.
Close enough.
I was looking at Drew's name when I said it, so sorry.
I am Joe, as we have now established. You can find me on Twitter at JLFB96.
And he's Jesse.
And Jesse, the man of the hour.
Gotta save it. And I'm Jesse, and you can find my music on soundcloud.com/contingentsboston, CONTINGENCE, Boston. I think I might be a little bit more tired this episode because I've been like really working hard on music again, and it feels really good.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
good, dude.
It's like an emotional release, and I get to be creative.
I've been messing around in Blender making 3D models.
Oh no.
So I will.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You know, I started watching those like epic battle simulators of like 1 million orcs versus like 10,000 John Wicks.
I love that.
Yeah, they're so stupid. I'm sorry, Jesse.
That sounds like
They
fun to
are
watch.
hilariously stupid.
So yeah, look for. There will be new music soon. I mean, it'll probably be on hold for a little bit because I got to edit this shit now. But
Oh, excuse us.
I don't even know. I'm not even gonna plug Comrade Rosie anymore. Like, I don't think any of those mutual aid groups are still active. So
Sucks, bro.
So we will
see you next time.
In our own capacity, we will attempt to do some mutual aid praxis, and we hope you do the same.
Go to therapy, bro. Not saying that to you, just saying that to people who are listening.
Wait, I have a slam recommendation. I completely forgot about that.
Chat.
Dicks.
This is such a good podcast.
Yeah. This is why no one listens to us, because we've gone for too long. I don't know anything. I make an ass of myself constantly.
I'm completely content with the idea of just shouting into the void to see our listeners.
Elon Jet. It's the Twitter bot that tracks the Elon Jet. Landed in Hawthorne, California. U.S. approximate flight time 48 minutes.
You know what to do, listeners. Go get them.
Wait.
It literally flew down.
All right. I have a slam recommendation for you this evening. Your slam recommendation is an album entitled Into Impending Apotheosis.
I feel like you've recommended that before.
No.
All right.
This just came out. This came out
presses.
between the last episode and
Okay,
this
then
one.
fuck me. I don't know shit.
The artist is Insect Inside.
I should look up one of these slams.
Insect Inside.
They're really tight. They are. I think they're in the middle of fucking nowhere in Russia. They're in like the Ural Mountains or something.
I remember learning about slam in like 8th grade French class. I was like, whoa, people like rap but without like the rhythm.
No,
and they
that's
don't
not
rhyme.
the same. That's slam poetry.
Wait, I thought that's what this was. The whole
No, this is slamming brutal death metal.
Oh!
Did you not listen? Did you not listen to the episodes that you've been on?
No, every time we talked about slam, I thought you were talking about slam poetry. Dude, literally every single podcast I've recorded, I was under that impression. That's really funny. That's really funny.
Go back and listen to the one.
Those were all talking about slam death metal. I didn't know that. I thought it was about slam poetry.
Okay, they're from the middle of fucking nowhere, Russia. They're in the Chelyabinsk Oblast, where the meteor like entered the atmosphere and then exploded in 2012 or so.
Wow.
Oh.
You guys remember
I
that?
remember now, actually.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it probably happened more recently.
My video game to recommend is Hard Space Shipbreaker. It's a fun game about disassembling the old ships, and it's basically like you're a sharecropper slave but in space, and you're disassembling spaceships in like the hyper-capitalist future, and it's quite fun. It's like reverse Legos, but the Legos are a spaceship. I would play. It's fun.
Yeah, why be exploited in real life when you can be exploited?
Yeah.
The game starts with you signing like this like incredibly long contract that you have to scroll all the way through and press accept, and it's like, we have the rights to clone you if you die from your DNA and make you our slave forever.
Clone you. You will never die. You are a slave for this company forever.
That's the premise of the game.
Yeah. No, yeah, I thought about that's what games are now. They're just simulations of what we do in real life.
Well, yeah, it's been that way since The Sims.
It can be an escape fantasy. Sometimes you just want to play a fucking forklift simulator. That's not what I do in real life.
Forklift simulator.
Like 12 of those exist.
Full on called in The Sims. Like, I seen somebody playing it, and I was like, I guarantee you they're gonna add a feature where you can play The Sims in The Sims, and then they did.
Yeah, like
So
how
you're
you can
just-
play all the old GTAs in GTA 5.
No, but it's even more meta in The Sims because you're sitting at a computer watching a character sit at the computer doing what you're doing.
Sims. Yeah, that's wild.
I
crazy.
remember introducing that concept into the first game I worked. It was actually a coworker's idea, but we had a game where you're playing like in an office, controlling an old guy walking around, and it was stupid.
Little guy.
It was called Code Tycoon. It was a dog shit
Little
game.
guy.
But it basically, we took a screenshot of like our game editor in the game and put it on like the computer screens of all like the NPC people in the game. So it was a bunch of little like.
Oh, that's nice.
It was I like.
I love cute shit like that. That's something you gotta love.
Gamer
Can
touch.
you, in the game that you're making right now that we're not going to discuss,
We're not
can you slip in at any point the phrase "butt tank though"?
Butt tank though.
You know what? Just for
Butt
you.
tank
Just
though?
for you. Just for you,
Put butt
Scott.
tank though somewhere, like a little graffiti somewhere.
Yeah, just for
Because
you.
that's the epoch. See, look at how I did that.
Very,
y'all.
very smart.
just
Very
for
clever.
Consider it done.
Tank. Wait, you didn't plug our. You didn't.
We're
plug...
on Patreon. We're on. I almost said Letterboxd. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Epic Incredulity.
My cats
Check
are
it
like
out.
killing
Check
each
out
other
the,
right
the,
now.
the Marxist melange. Check out those readings. Check it out. Get educated. God damn it. Know your theory. Know your life. Sure. Whatever. But Tankto in a video game.
But Tank do.
I don't care what era the game takes place in. Drew, somehow put a tank in it that people can use.
I will talk to my leads about that.
Oh gosh, they're gonna create a monstrosity. Yeah, that's the epoch. Let's end it. Jesus Christ, we've been going for 2 hours.
There you go. Now I can sleep.
Now you can sleep. Good.
Thank you.
I did the fart, so now I may sleep.
I love you.
All right.